Well, Fallen Child 1993, you wanted to know how you drive a manual transmission ATV. Like, you know, one with a clutch, like this. And so I'm going to show you how. First thing I'm going to show you is, hopefully you can see that shift pattern there. 1, neutral, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This, my 2001 Yamaha Blaster, has a 6-speed transmission. So what that means is that in neutral, you're in between 1 and 2. So if you want to put it in first, you got to kick it down, and then you're in first gear. So you can see it's in gear. And you can also see it's time to put a new chain on. Oh boy. Anyways. So to put it in neutral, you know, if you're downshifting and you got it in first, you just go a half a click up. That's all you got to do. Then you're in neutral. So if you're going to be driving it, you'll want to go, when you put your clutch in, you know, and you want to go into gear, you push this down to first and then up for the rest of the gears. And so it's pretty simple. It's one of them things you get used to after a while. I've ridden a lot of street bikes and dirt bikes, and so, you know, this little four-wheeler isn't too bad. Now, I'll warn you on the video, I'm going to try and make this, but it is really windy, so please, I apologize if the audio does not turn out on this. We will see what happens, though. So, first thing we're going to do, we'll fire it up here, turn the switch to run, and kick start. Now, this little red light here just tells me that I'm getting low on 2-stroke oil. So I need to add some pretty soon. It's got a tank back here. You can see that it's still got some in it, which actually that'll last quite a while, probably another tank full of gas. But I do need to add some. So, first thing you do, you want to pull in your clutch. Now your clutch on any manual transmission bike or four-wheeler is always going to be on your left-hand side. Okay? Now what that leaves is it leaves your brake on your right-hand side for the front. Those are your front brakes, and you've got the foot brake down here for the rear brakes. Kick the kickstarter in. And then of course the throttle right here. So, we're going to pull in the clutch, first thing, and we'll kick this down once to go into first. Now, the biggest mistake that most people make with this is they let out the clutch, and as soon as they feel it start to move, they let off. And of course it dies. So, you got to be real careful, and you got to be able to modulate your clutch. You got to figure out a feel for it. You don't, as soon as it starts moving, you can't just let it right off or you will kill it. So start it again, and I'll show you how to do it properly. I'll try, anyways, I only got 2 hands. So we push in the clutch, pull in the clutch, kick it down to go to first. Normally I would give it a little bit of gas, but we're going to take off without this time. Or we're going to try. I don't know if this one will actually do it. But what you're feeling for is you're feeling for that point where you're into a full roll. So we'll give it just a little bit of gas. And I'll try and show you my hand here. And when you finally got it into a full roll and you're moving under your own power, that's when you let out the clutch all the way. Now, I don't know, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I've always assumed that it is not too terribly hard so long as you let off the throttle when you're doing it, that it's not too terrible hard on one of these to shift from all the other gears without a clutch. And actually that's how I'm going to do it right now, because I've only got 2 hands. And so, obviously, you know, it's what I got to do to show how this is done. So we'll pull in the clutch again, and we'll give it some gas again. We'll let out the clutch, Oh, I didn't put it in gear. Kick it down for first gear. It's in first gear. And you just want to let out until you feel it going into a full roll when it's completely under its own power. And then you can let on the throttle. So what I'm going to do here is I'll have my foot underneath the shifter. And I'll bring it up. Let off the throttle, and then I'll kick it in the second, pull it up. Okay. And then I'll let off the throttle, and I'll kick it up into third gear. Just that simple. And then the same thing over the opposite with the down gear. Kick it down to the next gear. We're in second gear now. Okay. And then third gear. And then actually, if you get a real good feel for it, you can kick it up without ever using the clutch. So, pardon the wind now that I'm out of the shelter of the shop, but that is how you run manual transmission four-wheeler bike or street bike. They're all exactly the same, only most of them, a lot of them will actually be a 5-speed. So you just go 1 down and 4 up instead of 1 down and 5 up. But that's how it's done. I hope that answers your questions, Fallen Child 1993. And happy motoring.